Okay, so let's get started. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today we will do a deep dive on MJML Live Editor app, a brand new app available for free to download from App Exchange. And this app allows Salesforce Marketing Cloud users to create MJML email templates directly in Content Builder and to publish HTML without leaving the email studio. My name is Zuzana. I am a Salesforce Marketing Cloud architect at Deloitte Digital. I am also a Salesforce MVP and the leader of the Poznan Salesforce Marketer Group. And our guest today is Sab, Marketing Automation Practice Lead at Cloud Kettle. Sab, would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Sab, even though it says Sabuhi here, it's a longer version. Everyone using it Sab. I have experience like 10 years, more than 10 years working in marketing automation space, using Pardot Marketing Cloud as a day-to-day, as an architect, as a consultant. So again, this topic is about MJML today, but feel free to shoot the message or email about any topic that you want to learn about Pardot and Marketing Cloud, and I will be more than happy to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for joining us today. So as this is the last event of our community group in this calendar year, I would like to take a moment to quickly summarize our activity. This group was established in 2019 as a local marketer community group, but due to COVID, we have moved most of our activity online. And today our group is serving an international crowd of over 500 community members. This year has been our most active year so far. We held a total of 7 community events, most of them focused on marketing cloud related products that are built by community members for community members. And we had over 1,200 unique attendees who signed up to join our meetings. I would like to thank each and every one of you who participated in our events this year for being active members of this community. And in case you have any feedback on the group's activity or any interesting ideas for future meeting topics, you can reach out to me directly by email. It's Zuzana@sfmarketing.cloud. In case you missed any of the previous events, a quick reminder that we do have a YouTube channel. It's called Poznan Poland Marketing Cloud Community Group, and it's always updated with the latest content shared in our meetings. A little bit of housekeeping for today. This session will be recorded and the recording will be posted to the events page on the Trailblazer Community Group's website and to the YouTube channel mentioned earlier. At the end of the session, there will be a chance to ask Sab questions about the MJML editor. So please post your questions in the chat or ask them directly during the Q&A. Last but not least, remember to sign up for the upcoming meetings organized by the Poznan Salesforce Marketer Group in the coming months. As soon as we have some dates and topics lined up, we will announce them on the Trailblazer community website, and I will also post them on my personal LinkedIn. Now, since the holiday season is fast approaching, I would like to offer you all a chance to win some Salesforce swag and certification vouchers. We have multiple prizes to give away today, and all you need to do is follow the link and sign up using the form. I will also post this link for you in the chat later on. Lottery winners will be announced at the end of the event, so stay tuned to find out how to claim your prize if you're one of the lucky winners. And now, without further ado, off to you, Sab.
Thank you so much. So I will take over the slide and we can continue. Cool. I'm just going to select the window. Let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining today. So we will kind of review MJML. Agenda is going to be quick introduction. I already did one. We will talk about email design challenges, what's happening in the kind of email marketing area right now, what's MJML, quickly touch base on MJML live editor installation. And for me, or probably for you as well, the most exciting part is we will do the demo, and I will prefer if you can code along together with me. You don't have to complete all email, but as much as you can, just try do it. And at the end of the session, we are also going to share MJML code, so you can kind of later on go back and then see what we did during the session. So myself, Sabuhi Sab, 10 plus years experience in marketing automation, marketing cloud and product consultant, passionate about anything about marketing cloud, email marketing. If you're on the product side, B2B side, any question about the campaign usage, B2B attribution, feel free to reach out. I'm a practice lead at Cloud Kettle. Yeah, great team. So let's touch base on email design challenges. So as all you know, the email is something, it's hard to keep up with the current technology. You still rely on table, TRTDs, but when you design your email, there's still some compatibility issues when something is introduced, and for email is not supported by all the email browsers, but actually it's really cool. And if you're interested, feel free to go follow Elliot. He's posting a lot about the marketing cloud and for email. Other design the challenges that creating mobile first, and people has to go back and then change certain elements to make it responsive, because when you design it, it's challenging to kind of focus on both. And if you are working a graphic designer who doesn't have experience on responsive email, that might be challenging. Of course, when you create your email manually, longer developing time, testing time takes longer, and overall email HTML is not kind of what I like to edit. That's why we always look for opportunities like what's next there that can eliminate email marketers or whoever work in the marketing cloud and Pardot. They don't have to touch the code, and they can just use a platform that spits out the HTML, and then they can embed to their email. So what's MJML? It's not something that Cloud Kettle invented. It's a Mailjet markup language. It's an open source library. It has extensive component library. It's designed responsive in mind. So when you export your email, you don't have to edit anything. It's responsive by default. If you have a couple of tweaks you need to make, you can still use the media queries. But again, it doesn't really overcomplicate your email. Of course, with all this, having a extensive component library built-in responsive reduces your development time and complexity. And overall, it's both marketer and developer friendly. I urge everyone, if you haven't attempted to create an email, or you're still from time to time touching the emails and editing, learn MJML. It will make your life easier. We had this kind of similar presentation with other Trailblazer community members, and they love it. Everyone using it. We are using it internally for all our clients. Additional thing about MJML, it's not locked down for marketing cloud. Yes, this MJML live editor app makes your life easier. You don't have to leave the marketing cloud, go to your IDE and write your code, export and bring. Yes, live editor solves your problem for marketing cloud, but still you can use it for other platforms. If you're in a Pardot and you would like to use MJML, you can install it in IDE. And then you have to export HTML and the copy paste on your Pardot template. But that's the only you need to do. So MJML live editor solves this big problem for marketing cloud, and hopefully in the future we can bring similar thing to Pardot and marketing cloud. So it's available as a custom content block in marketing cloud. There are no third-party code editor applications or add-on required. You install the app, you just give the URL, and that's it. It works on your marketing cloud, no data shared from outside, and can be used with AMP script and personalization strings as well. So it's not limited that, hey, I cannot use any my AMP script functions. They all work as supposed to work. The My Live Editor installation, I will quickly go to the page that we have on the website. Once you download from App Exchange, it will take you to this page where you can go to your platform tools, apps, install packages, click new. From here, you can give any name you want. We say just give the MJML live editor just so you can recognize when it's installed, and select custom content block and add a custom block. Click next. Here, enter the name, endpoint. It has to be exactly like this. In some instances, if your corporate has a firewall and limiting you accessing the external URLs, you may want to bring it up with your kind of IT team, saying that, hey, can you please whitelist? And that's the purpose why I'm using it. Because in some instances, you may not get it work because it's going to show like it's not accessible. And this is the reason, and the firewall with the main reason. But otherwise, if you see any issues, feel free to shoot us an email, and someone else, myself or someone else from my team, will jump in and solve the problem. And once the custom block is added, click save, and you should be able to see this small icon in your UI, which when you drag and drop, it will bring MJML, which we will do demo in a second. So if I go back to the slide. So we use the custom content block, and we have 45 minutes. That's great. So I will try to do this email design. We are doing a sample email from Starbucks. It's one of the emails for in my mailbox, and it has a little bit Christmas vibe. So I grabbed that. Feel free, code along. We will cover some MJML best practices. At the end, we will have time to go back and edit some of the components or go over what can be changed, what's possible. I'm going to share kind of the link to a Figma file where you can find all the specs and also files that we have uploaded to our own Marketing Cloud instance, so you can still use it, so you don't have to download and upload again. And of course, please add your question to the chat window, and let's get started. And hopefully we can finish in 30 minutes and have enough time for Q&A. So I will grab quickly this URL and add on a chat window, and I will explain what this is doing. Let me see if I can chat here. So I'm trying to share it, but it doesn't want to share. Okay, it's shared. So let's go back. Cool. So this is the email that we are attempting to create, and this is the specs. We are going to use different font than you may see on a Starbucks email because it is licenses. I'm using the closest what we have from Google API, and it's a Montserrat. This is a subject line. All the assets that we are going to use in email, they're all here with their specs, with values, the colors throughout we have, and a couple of links if you're not familiar with the Marketing Cloud personalization by default. And that's the Figma file I have here. So our email will consist, I know lots of people here, great, so you're accessing it. Our email consists of multiple blocks. We have a kind of, I will say, logo section. We have a hero section with the image, some text below. There's a main area where we'll have kind of main CTAs. It's going to be like 4 images and then a little bit text below. We have a button. There's a border and the footer section. Okay. And again, keep your questions. If you see that, or if you have any kind of best practice as well on top of what I created, feel free to drop in the chat window. I will do my best, and Susanna will do the best, like kind of grab them and review at the end. Okay, let's get started. So we are in Marketing Cloud, and hopefully you will get a chance to install as well while we are doing this. We'll get an email message from here. I will go select a template. I already created MJL master. It's just the black content block, nothing fancy. We have, let's go and grab a subject line since we have it here. We don't need to type. Grabbed it. So, oh, sorry, let's give a name actually. Starbucks. Let's say, I always like to set the date for my email and say rewards. Next, let's add a subject line here. So we are good. So as you see, it's just placeholder content block, and our MJML live editor Ignore that it appears twice. Someone else probably installed it in an instance just to practice it. So we can drag and drop, and that's it. So when you drag and drop the MJML Live Editor app, it loads with like there's a content already when you do that. So it's a kind of good starting point. And I will go over tabs we have. We have HTML editor. This is anything that we type in MJML here will show up in your HTML editor. So you can, but it's kind of extracts right away on the fly. Other thing is code snippets you have. If you like, and I will refer to this document a lot sometimes because yes, you can keep all the MJML components in mind, but you don't have to. It's available here. You can go and grab. Additionally, you can just Google and say MJML documentation, and this is where I will go like other times. You have all the components displayed for you. Again, you don't have to type. Do you want MJ font? Just go and grab from here. Okay. So let's get started. I will go back to here. I will, before I start, and I will also recommend to do that, is it's better to set up your MJ head. In MJML, you can, each component will come its own default values. Just when you use it, it looks nicer, but you can also override them. And sometimes, like most of cases, I would like to override them. And I'm going to kind of say, hey, yes, this text element has default padding, 20 pixel on each side, but I don't want to do that. I would just want to make it 0 because throughout my email, there are different paddings I have to use. So to kind of like eliminate that problem going and editing, I will just set at the top and then kind of add where I need additional paddings. Okay. So for this use case, and something about MJML Live Editor, every time you make a mistake or you don't close your component, you will always get this error that kind of explains what are you missing. So for example, here it says it's not a valid MJML component because I haven't closed anything. MJ head, it's gone away. So great. So we can add our default attributes here. The best thing I would like to do first is go and identify my font. So MJ font, name, and href, kind of two values it captures. We can go here and say, okay, this is our href URL. Awesome. Go back to Marketing Cloud, href, and the name, I will just use the Monstera. Okay, good. So we defined our font. Let's go and define our MJ attributes that will dictate kind of override default behavior, so we don't have to type font name, font size all the time in our email. MJ attributes, and sometimes I misspell something. Okay, MJ attributes. If I go back to Figma, quickly review what's happening here. In most cases, you will see we are using 20 pixel font size. Okay, I mean, it's good to have a 20 pixel default, so we don't have to type font size every time for the majority of the text. So in order to do that, I will say, let's say MJ all, I'm telling to address all the components in my template. And I would like to say font size is going to be 20 pixel. Great. I can say line height is going to be 1.45 is the best practice. You can say font family. I would like it to be Montserrat first. If you don't have Montserrat, let's fall back to Arial. And if you don't have Arial, which is the rare case, we're going to sans serif, and let's close MJO. Okay. Cool. So we do this here. Perfect. Next, we can we will come back maybe during the kind of our remaining of the email, come back and edit, like add a few more things to the MJ attributes. But this should be, just making sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah, so we should be good. And MJ section, I will say, let's have a padding, 30 pixel from sides, 40 pixel top. based on the spec of your email. That may change. I don't want an MJ text to have any padding by default because it's not what I want. Just to override, and also MJ image. I don't want to have any padding by default. Okay. Promise this is the kind of the piece where we will touch once and it will help us to throughout the email. Okay. So we go to body section. Let's go back and check our old background. We have white background, so we don't have to worry. But if you want to be more kind of descriptive, we can say background color. We will have a white. So FFF stands for, and I'm going to remove this. And what we have here is every time you define a kind of blade or row, depending how you want to call it, you will have an MJ section. And depending number of MJ column component you will put here, it will define the number of columns. In our cases, it's whoever designed email, thank you. It's a single column, makes the email marketer's life easier. So we have a single column, but if in case you have a double columns, use the MJ column twice and you will have 2 columns. So let's go and start commenting on our code just to keep and it gives other people know what we are doing in HTML. So logo section, and next we are going to bring MJ image. MJ image kind of component accepts multiple value, the parameters. For this one, we are going to use source. And I believe that's it. So let's go and grab the source. So we are looking MJ image logo, grab this, come back on our email. And oh, there are lots of padding here. Why? Because we defined the padding at the top, it kind of overrides what we have here. So in order to override what is defined on the head of the MJML attribute, so we will just say we don't want any padding because it's a full text. Here you go. Header is completed. You can add a logo, etc. I'm going to add a background color to avoid having some 1 pixel background issue in Outlook. So, and I will use a background color of this element. Okay, good. Next section, we continue down. Again, once you have your one section, rest becomes easy because you will keep copy pasting unless you have a brand new element that you need to include. So for this one, we will call it, let's call it the hero. And let's go find our URL. So this is the URL. And okay, here. Okay, we are doing good progress. It's good. We're good here. We updated the background color. Oh, it should be the, so one thing I kept and I didn't check my error section is saying that, hey, you used the illegal parameter because it's not actually background, it's a background color. So that kind of eliminates, so it tells you what the mistake you made. Next, we did a MJ image, perfect. Let's go over Figma. We need to add 3 more text blocks. One is for this one, kind of header. While we are here, we can check what's the font size. It's a 30 pixel. It's a bold. Perfect. Let's go back to our email. The way we'll do this, there's a component called MJ text. And you can start and the bracket. And let's put our text here. So it appears in 2 lines. We can use a kind of line break. Oh, it looks so dark, of course, because what we need to do, it's a different color. So it's a yellow color. Let's go and keep updating it. So we would like this to be greenish color. Good. Still not where, so because I didn't close. Is there? Yes. So one thing that we can actually address throughout the email, all our texts in the email are centered. So, we can go at the top and say, I don't have to deal with the aligning of my text. So I'm just going to go center, it's centered automatically. We can say font size is 30 pixel, and we say font weight is bold. Scroll down. Okay, so let's say compare the real email. It's exactly the same. This text, so again, we will continue just copy pasting because why not? So we grab this one here, add a new line. The only thing we need to do, go back to the email, grab the dates, come here. Okay, cool. It's bigger. Why? Because the font size is different. This is a color and font is 20. Let's come 20 pixel. And let's change the color. Cool. We have it done, this one. Let's move on next section. Next section is regular text with no default font size is 20. We don't have to touch it. Actually, we don't have to define a font size here because we know what's the font size. We define it at the top. Oh, we didn't actually. Oh, we did here. Yes, font size is 20 pixels. So we don't have to define it every time again. So I'm grabbing MJ text here, put one more time. I know it's not this font size. Color is this based on a email design. And don't think is left. Grab the text. Come back here. Let's do some tweaks. Oh my God, look at this. It looks so big. Makes sense because when we designed the hero, we set the padding kind of 20 pixels to 0 pixel, and we can override that and say for the following text elements, because it was set to 0, we can say, let's make it padding left 30 pixel and padding right, I'm missing something, 30 pixel. Okay, so that should add, if I copy and paste this in the following elements, I should have, cool. We have kind of hero section almost completed. Let's go back here, a little bit spacing needed. So we can go and say, for this one, let's add padding bottom. Maybe 10 pixel will look good. Yeah, I think it looks good. Let's go and check the email. And we can also add one here. Other way, if you want to be pixel perfect, you can come here, select the element, and should be option key. Let's see, or control key. Let's see. Yes. So if you hover the element, it's going to tell you, click, if you're on a Mac, click the element and go to option. It's going to tell you the distance between each element. And then you can use this information kind of set, hey, what's the pixel distance I would like to have between both elements. So if you want to get more detail, try to give the pixel perfect email. So we have hero section. So hero section completed. We can have some padding here too if we want. Let's say padding bottom and say 15 pixel because it's the end of the email. Okay, cool. Let's move on next section. We have one section where we have, sorry, I say so many we have. We have one title, 4 icons with a text and a button. I will try to do one and I will check time. If we have time, I will continue the rest, but it's going to be literally copy paste and making sure that text looks good. This time, let's go and create from scratch. Why not? So we can say thumbnails. And let's do one more time. Let's create a MJ section. Again, you can copy paste or you can type as well, depending how comfortable you feel with MJML. MJ column and another MJ column here. See, every time I miss something, it's going to warn me that, hey, you missed some items there. So we have MJ column. What we need to do, background color is different for this section, but we have this information here already. Let's grab it. Background color. Cool. We have a new element here, and let's continue adding our text. So the first text is more stars, more rewards. Let's go ahead in the email. So MJ text, MJ text, and that's our text here. More stars, more rewards, but it looks not nice. So why? We can see it's a 30 pixel and it's extra bold. Probably we'll use the bold 30. And let's see if we define the font at the top, because that might also help us. Let's see if I did that. I didn't do, but other thing I could have done is define the font. But let's define the font on element level, component level, sorry. And we can say font weight. We'll make it bold. Perfect. And one more thing, font size is equals to 30 pixel. There you go. Looks much better. We did this. Next section is going to be thumbnails. I can come here and say thumbnail number 1. You can have this as a separate section, or you can kind of keep it under one section. It's up to you. Depends how you prefer. But for me, it's just like I will keep it under one section. Again, I will go back to MJ image. And we can also copy, but I will keep it here. MJ image source, and I need a width value because I want to set the value for width of the element. Let's go and find the URL of the first thumbnail. This is the URL, and it's 186 pixel. This is the URL. This is 180 pixel. Here you go. And we just need to would like to add some padding at the top, and we will make it 30 pixel. Okay. Here you go. And next section will be grabbing the title. It's a 20 pixel. We just need to make them bold, our element, and should be good. And we come here. MJ text. Here. And let's call MJ text. Just one element. And font weight equals to bold. Good. We can add padding top. I checked the email previously. I think it was around 20 pixel. We're getting there. Color. Then we can add a color as well. Or just to make it convenient, I will go define a color for MJ text. So I don't have to type every time again when I do the MJ text. So it will automatically inherit that value from a MJ attributes. I will have another section here. I can just say remove bold, and we come to our thumbnails. So A like stars, where we are going to have a BR tag. So we can say, I'm just going to add here. Like and stars. Like I have everyone kind of following. And again, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to add on the chat window. We will address it at the end. It's bold. If I remove this one, very good. This section. Oh, sorry. I think I removed the bold from wrong section. Cool. Let's go back in the email. Yeah, looks the same. So once, if the time permits, I will continue kind of the thumbnail, but I will go to footer. I know we have like 20 minutes left. I will go to add a button element, which is at the bottom of our email. Yeah, this time, I'm just going to grab a code snippet versus trying to find or typing. So that's another way if you want to kind of save time and not to type. So we can go to MJ button. We will have some work here because this comes with some pre-value. Background color, no, we don't want this. We would like to have our kind of branded color, which is this. Perfect. Don't click me. It doesn't say like that. So it says learn more. You can come learn more. Text file is fine. Other thing we can also go and check from here is find MJ button and see what are the other attributes this component gets. So for us, we would like to see the border radius a little bit bigger, just to make sure it shows rounded. For this, I'm just going to make 35 pixel. Let's see. Almost there. We can send font weight because it's bold. Cool. And you can also have a padding, which impacts the outside, kind of distance from the outside elements. And internally, if you would like to add a spacing, there's a setting called inner padding, which will define how text is positioned within that block. So inner padding, I would like to be 20 pixel maybe from top and 30 pixel from sides. Let's go have a look if it works. Yeah, perfect. And I can also increase the spacing between the element. Okay. Next section, we need to have thumbnails. Okay, we had the button. Next section is going to be simple divider, our text and logo, and we should be good. So let's go add a divider. This is also a separate kind of component you can use. I will copy paste quickly, or I will go here and find MJ divider. That's it. And I can say divider. Come back here. Divider again. It's better to add a comment just to make sure that whoever reads the code understands in HTML side what's going on. You can come say MJ section. MJ section here. MJ column. Let's close the MJ column. And let's our divider. Let's see how it looks. It looks far off because we have default padding. We would like to make it 0. Great. It also has its own padding. We don't want to, we would like to have it solid, and we would like to have it 3 pixel. And the border colors, actually, I would like to have exactly what we have here. Okay, we forgot the padding because I don't want any padding on this one. Cool. Kind of we have next component. Let's make it a little bit 4. Almost there. The last piece is your footer, which we will just go and make MJ text. One more MJ text. Okay, so we need to look, what's the color, what's the font size of our element? It's a 12 pixel, and the font should be, color should be D9, D9, D9. So you can say font size will be 12 pixel, and color is going to be D9, D9, D9. Perfect. And let's go copy paste our text. What does it say? Oh, we have some personalization string here, which is great. So I can have the text here. Oh, it's always section padding. We can get rid of this. And we can also call it footer and footer. Okay, this is our text. Maybe I should make it a little bit darker. There's something with the font. I know I'm overriding some of the elements, but good for this use case. Href. We can say style, text transformation. Just this is to get rid of the underline. You have text. Actually, maybe we can just set a color, same color as font size, and leave the for href. We can come and just call that unsub center URL, and it's easier, just copy paste, put here, and we can say it should be a profile, and close the A tag. Now it should be good. We do one more time, and then one more image, it should be done. And the next, just when we render the email, not to fail the rendering, we have to put some MGM Marketing Cloud piece. Cool, it looks good. Oh, let's give enough padding at the top. Let's make it 30 pixel. Looks good. This looks 30 pixel. And the last element we have is MJ image. And this will be the footer logo we have. We come here, MJ text, MJ image. Pattern we have. Let's go grab the URL, and we should be good, except not adding these 3 thumbnails. But overall, good. Is there no size? Yeah. Let's go back in the email. It's too small. What if we do this? Yeah, looks good. Yeah, I think so, except not able to add these thumbnails. Again, the only thing you have to do, find that thumbnail section in your, when we send over this MJML, grab the thumbnail, and as long as you copy paste this section and replace image tags, it should be good. And we define our variable at the top. Everything subject line looks good. Hopefully I can find the awesome. Yeah, your address is listed susie@lime-.com. Unsubscribe is working, and this is your email. So again, for additional, probably we spend 10 minutes, we can add this for thumbnails, but I didn't want to kind of spend on this one and make sure I answer your questions. Suzanne, back to you.
Yes, thank you very much. We do have, I don't know if you've been able to monitor the chat, but you've got a lot of amazing feedback for both how you've presented this and for the editor. So I will let you read that later because there's really a lot of good feedback there. But there's also a couple of questions. So one question from Danny. Danny is wondering, does MJML support background images
Yes.
in the body, and if it's Outlook compatible, because as we all know, Outlook
Yeah.
is a pain.
Yeah, they have. There's a component called Hero, but again, they have some catches you keep in mind because the text over image, yes, it's supported, but some catches, but they have MJ-Hero component that's for that purpose exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I will recommend go explore. I can also send the link. It's on documentation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the second question from Alicia is about, it's quite a long question.
Sure.
It's about, I guess it's about possible malware code injections.
Yeah.
So is there an option in MJML to treat text only as a text without interpreting any AMP script variables? At least that's how I understand the question. Maybe if you're here with us, Alicia, you want to elaborate, feel free to unmute yourself and add to what I just explained.
Yes, thank you. Actually, this is kind of strange question. Sorry, maybe it's not really in topic, but I'm trying to find the solution especially for the HTML, and I cannot find anything. So I assume that maybe MJML will help. Yes, sometimes can happen that some user in the form will put some injection, the code, and HTML is interpreted. For example, we have personalized email, and instead of first name, we will have the code provided from some user. So HTML will interpret this code, and the code will, I'm not sure which one, because there's plenty of type of codes which can be loaded in emails. So I need to prevent all of them. Is there any function? HTML does not have any functions, but maybe some tag which will really treat the personalization string as a text only.
Okay. I will feel free to reach out offline to me. I would like to bring it up for some of my marketing cloud developer folks on my team. They from what I'm understanding from HTML side, no, you don't have, but with some JavaScript trick, you can do something. It also depends that if you're trying to do something for a marketing user who is using Marketing Cloud, or if you are looking from end user perspective. Because if you are thinking about end user perspective, it doesn't matter. And when they get the email, everything is rendered. They are not able to do anything. And if they do, it's not the responsibility. But if you are talking hey, I have a Marketing Cloud user who creates the email, but they can do some mistake, unintentional or intentional, doesn't matter. How we can prevent that? It's a kind of different kind of the kind of area we have to discuss. So in order to kind of answer your question, I would like to have a quick chat, and then again, if you need any help, just quick support or help voluntarily, someone from my team can kind of guide you through what will be the kind of best path forward.
Yeah, will be awesome. For sure I will contact with you. Thank you very much, and great presentation. Thank you.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you, Alicia. And now we have two more questions. First question from Ankan. Ankan is asking, does the rendering work in Outlook desktop?
Yeah, I mean, the output, my understanding, he's asking if the email is looking fine. Yeah. So the MJML, the code that you get from MJML, I will say the most robust in the market. There are some other CSS libraries you can use to create the email, but the purpose of the MJML is that syntax is explicitly to make your email render better. So yes, it works great in Outlook. We use Litmus. To be honest, after having MJML, we don't even use Litmus anymore unless Clive has a extreme email layout, because I trust MJML that it will work, and I don't even kind of goes oh, let me go and test it. But again, of course, you have to test your email. Always test. Don't trust kind of your kind of inside. So, but again, it's kind of compatible with almost 99% of everything that you will ever come across.
Perfect. So you can save some money on Litmus licenses.
Yeah, I don't want to say that, but yes.
Okay, and one last question from Douglas. Douglas is asking if AMP script in MJML is used the same way as in HTML.
Yeah. So the output that you say you get from, I don't know if I understand the question correctly, but the code you get from there, you can grab it and edit in any way you want. It's output is a pure HTML, but I always, even if you are like, we have few cases where we upgraded the MJML using for Pardot use case, like Pardot, their template syntax, and I never recommend any of my kind of teammates or my colleagues to go and edit HTML. Try to find a solution that you will fix something in MJML. So kind of you don't go in a loop, like you make a change on HTML and you have an address in MJML and then you go to MJML export, overwrites all your changes. You don't want to go to that loop. If you start using MJML, try to stick with MJML as much as you can. But if there's something, it's a really unique case like M for email, yeah, that's a different story. You have to work on HTML, but you can also include the so there's a component called MJ row that allows you to inject your row kind of script. Like this is where you will use the M script. If you're using the M script function, like you have like lots of looping, etc. in your email, you can include as MJ row. And when MJML is rendering your email and giving the HTML, it's not going to touch that block and leave as is.
Thank you. And one more question from Rakesh. Do we need admin access to install MJML editor in Marketing Cloud?
Yeah, I'm not big fan of Marketing Cloud permissions. Most likely you need something because, and if you ask any Marketing Cloud person, is like, hey, can we have a custom role? And then you will be the enemy of that person because roles and user permissions in Marketing Cloud is like if you're trying a custom role. But you may need the admin access. If you are a regular user like marketing content creator or marketing, I don't even remember what are the exact roles right now. It has been a long time since I touched the roles in Marketing Cloud. I know I never want to touch that area. But you may need the admin access to create apps and other components. Most likely. Give it a try. If you can access, that means you need admin access.
Okay, yeah, great. So thank you. I think that's all the questions we had. So once again, thank you, Sab, for this amazing presentation and for building this this amazing application and for letting us use it for free.
Yeah, no worries.
So thank you for this.
Yeah, I will send the MJML to you, Suzanne. Make sure like that when you send a follow-up email, like you can attach to that so people, if they would like to use it, and we will also include the Figma link, and it will be active for a while. So if you're visiting 3 months from now, same link may not be available, but I will keep active at least for 3-4 months. But again, if for anyone from our audience have any questions about MJML, if you're stuck somewhere, again, this is a community. This is what we do. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, Sab, if you also want to drop your contact information in the chat, then anyone who would like to get in touch with you can grab your email address or any other info.
Yeah.
So thank you for this, and now I will share my screen one more time. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now. So congratulations to all the lottery winners: Francisco, Arushi, John, Manoj, Pavel, and Douglas. I will email each one of you separately tomorrow to let you know what you've won and how to claim your prize. So once again, congratulations. Thank you, Sab, for being with us today. Thank you all for joining, and I would like to wish all of you a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year, and hopefully we will see you again after the new year during our next meeting.
Thanks, Suzanne. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.